Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Questionable Perspective Podcast. As we have been missing for a couple of weeks, but we're back with a very heated topic that has been all over X, Facebook, pretty much any social media platform that you've been on. Is the Nintendo Switch 2 has been revealed. But before we get to that, I'm going to speak to my co-host, Mr. Jeshua. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing well, sir. How are you?
Doing good. Not as good as Nintendo right now, but doing well.
Oh boy, Nintendo's in a pickle, so to speak.
Yeah, it's one of their own creation.
Well, it's one that can be understood, but also I think some and this is just me. Some people may have had knee jerk reactions to some information, which is understandable considering some things, but some other information is going to be a sticker shock value to some people, and they'll be like, can't do that. So, what I'm going to do, folks, is I've pulled up a few things. We're going to go over it. And most of this is either going to be straight from Nintendo or just how it or Nintendo's official site. I'll try to make sure to have all the links down below for everybody that's tuning in when we have this posted up later. But all right, I am. We're
What
going
was
to
your
do.
what was I say?
Go ahead.
What was your first thoughts when you saw the price?
Well, being that Nintendo has two bundles, and as y'all see on the Best Buy website right here, we'll just use this as an example. One's marked at 450, and then the other's marked at 500, basically. That I expected, being the Switch 2 is more powerful than the last generation. I take
And
that
we
for
do
what
as
it
you can
is.
as I'm about to say as you can see too, the $500 one does come bundled with Mario Kart World, so you are getting a game technically at a $30 discount.
And that is at a limited time from what I've read, but I don't know for how long. Now, Nintendo Tet, we'll get into that a little bit later. The pre-orders are a little bit up in the air at the moment, but we'll get to that information a little bit later. But you can see some of the accessories. This is their Nintendo camera. We're gonna look at here, which
Yes, the
this is
e-thought camera.
this is so stupid. It's like and I know this is literally like the Connect or something all over again. Like
Yeah, I'm just wondering when the OnlyFans girls are gonna start using that for
I'm
their
more
Nintendo streams.
I'm more afraid of other things, what people might do. But as far as the
Yeah.
Pro controller is, it's about the same price as what the current one is. The Joy Cons, everything's kind
Whoa,
of
whoa,
what
whoa,
it
whoa,
is.
whoa, 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 whoa. Are they selling the attachment that came that you connect the two Switch controllers to make it a regular controller? Are they selling that separate?
It'll come with one, and then there'll
Okay.
be an extra one. System should.
Okay, I was about to say,
I mean, I got one with my Switch. I mean, it's right here on the packaging.
yeah, but I wouldn't put it past Nintendo.
I mean, it's right there. they're not that dumb. But as y'all can tell, some games are going to be $70. Some will be 80. We'll get into a little bit more into that in just a little bit. But oh,
Jesus,
now,
$40 for a cheering case, 80 for the all-in-one.
well, the Nintendo brand, you can go on Amazon and probably get one of these for like $20. That's what I did for my Switch, and I still have it. This one probably carries controllers and such,
I actually got
and
two
it's
for my
metagames.
Switch.
Well, hey, there you go. Now,
Well, no, because I lost my Legend of Zelda one, or I misplaced it somewhere in the house, and I couldn't find it, and we was going on a trip, and I needed one.
oof. Now, there is another version it's Japan only, but it's location locked or it's region locked to Japan, and it's $130 less than ours, basically. Which I
which
mean,
is like, go ahead,
I
go
was
ahead.
gonna say it's around like 320, which is like whatever. That's fine. It's Japan locked. I mean, now they'll be paying about the same price for this right here within the yen, about 450 for the multi region one, which is fine. And again, the price increase on the console is to be expected. Now the price increase on games, some people are going
Well,
to have whiplashes, and
well, when it comes to the consoles, Nintendo kind of already had stated that they were no longer going to be taking a loss on the hardware anymore because they already stated that they had been taking a loss on the Nintendo Switch for every Switch sold,
I don't know.
and they pretty much said they were no longer going to take a hit on the cost of the Switch of their consoles anymore.
I mean, the Switch is like what their third best selling console.
I'm
Tech,
just saying this is what they said. They have each Switch they sell, they're taking a loss on.
I don't I don't think they were. That's just me. But technically, one of the most popular consoles was back when they did the mini consoles and they released Star Fox 2, along with a couple other games on that thing. I still have that. That's like one of their best selling consoles, regardless of being just a little mini emulator. That was one of their best selling. This, I mean, this price and the power it has now, I expected. Period.
Is it?
Yeah, because everybody complained about how low powered the Switch 2 was, or Switch 2, the first
But
Nintendo Switch was.
but it's basically a PS4.
No, the PS4 is more powerful. To be fair, there's a difference.
Yeah, they still basically they said the same thing. They like if you're looking for graphically intensive games, still not going to get it on the Switch.
They might. Some of these are actually.
No, they've
I
already
mean,
stated it. Like it's not going. They're not going to be pushing PS5, Xbox Series X hard power out of those things
listen, that's fine. They said this thing can go up to 120 frames. I'm like, that's fine. I don't.
with DSLR.
Oh yeah,
That
with HDR, it can push out 4K too. But I'm like, listen, my bare minimum is 1080p
technically is
six.
4K. It's just upscale. It's really upscale 4K. It's not true 4K.
Well, it's kind of the same with on Xbox and PlayStation 5. Well, no, some of them are like true 4K, but they're locked in at 30 frames a second. But
Unless you spend
systems,
$1,000 to get a Pro.
good luck with that. But I mean, it's like the console itself wouldn't be a terrible upgrade if you were going like say if you had one of the Switches that was having that bloated battery issue or something. This would not be a bad increase or a bad. But the game system itself is slated for June 5th. So from
Mm-hmm.
today, which is April 5th, so those just in case when this gets put out, it'll be 2 months from now. Donkey Kong is getting a new game, which is
Yes.
God, heaven forbid. It's been like what a decade, 10 years,
20.
maybe a little bit more, 20. Oh damn! And so this Donkey Kong Bonanza looks pretty cool. Mario Kart World looks nice. I'm not picking this up day one, obviously,
Mm,
because
no.
I don't want to deal with any of the bugs or anything. And I'm sure some people they'll go instantly buy it. Now, Nintendo had something
Yep.
on their website. You could essentially like what they do in Japan. This is Nintendo's main site doing this. They set it up. You could get an invitation to pre-order. Basically, it's a bit of a lottery system. It's to stop scalpers or anything. But if you
Well,
don't,
they kind of amended that.
well, we'll get to that. But right now, the pre-orders are taken down for right now. The game system,
Well, not
and
that. Well, not that. They basically stated like they're going to check your ID and stuff. You have to have the online service for 12 months. You have
Oh
to
yeah,
have over
that.
50 plus hours on the system and a whole lot of other requirements.
Oh well, if you've done anything through the site or whatever, they'll know. You'll have cloud data. So I mean, you have to log into your account on the Nintendo site or create one, and it'll check the data. That's fine. That's whatever. Like I said, I'm waiting a full year, so I won't have to worry about that. The one of the games I want right off the bat doesn't come out till next year. So, like I said, time to save and
Right.
everything.
Well, it depends. Does Metroid Prime 4 comes out? Is it a launch title or it's later on in the year?
Let me go look that up on my other thing.
Because I wasn't 100% if it was a launch title or if it was kind of like later on in the year. Because if it's not a launch title, then no, I wouldn't be too interested. It would definitely be something I
No, it's
could
slated
wait
for this
for.
year.
Because the only thing I saw in that whole what time this year?
Later this year. It's my assumption. There's no date for it. It's just this year. So you might be looking at Christmas time as when that's when they're going to probably put it out because the next,
Uh, that kind of complicates things.
like I said, later in the year. Wait a whole year. That way you don't have to fight scalpers or anything. The game will still be around. I promise. They
Oh no,
did
I
a
could just go. I can. Oh, I'm not going to buy it even then. I'm fully prepared to wait about 2-3 years.
damn. That's fair. Now they did. Some games will be getting an upgrade, like Mario Party Jamboree and other things. Some of them will get a free update if you have Nintendo Online. Some will cost you $20 increase. Give me a second. Anyways,
Yeah,
um,
which is kind of not really. I don't know. Paying $20 for a game you already bought just to get a slightly better running version of it.
yeah, it is what it is to a degree. I mean, probably one of the dumbest things they showed off is like, what is that? That Nintendo tour guide for the
Oh,
Nintendo
the tech.
Switch. That
Oh, the
literally,
tech demo.
yeah, the tech demo they'll sell you. It's like, you're gonna sell me a tech demo? This is gonna be $1.
Yep.
If it's $1, there's one thing, but I'm like, no one's gonna buy
What
that.
if they say? What if they say it's $30?
I'll laugh at their face. I will go to Doug Bowser personally and like just laugh in his face. Since he's the closest Nintendo representative I can think of, state wise. All right, now we're going to get into the weird, more nitty gritty, and I'm using Walmart as the template here. Now, as y'all can tell, this is what some of the cases are going to look like. In the cart, Kirby's. Let me close this out here. Pop over to Kirby's Dream Land. Now, this is this game's already been released, but it'll have the Nintendo Switch 2 edition, which this game was originally like, I think $60. So you're paying like 20 more bucks for the extra stuff. Again, it might be free, it might not, depending. I haven't looked into all the full details of all the stuff you get for free with the Nintendo Online. And another big nice
Well,
thing. Go ahead.
I was say with the Kirby thing, I think they use only 30. If you already have it,
Yeah,
the Switch version, yeah, you're
yeah,
only like $30 because you're just paying for the DLC.
yeah. It's like somewhere around there. I got to look into it. But I mean, this is what the game case will look like. Now there is a weird thing where some of these will be. They'll say on the bottom what they're going to be. The upgrade pack is available separately if you already have the game. So if you don't have this, pick it up. But I don't see spending $80 on this. Not many mainstream Nintendo titles go on sale, but take that as you
No,
will.
That's been their biggest problem to me.
Yeah, they rarely put stuff on sale. God knows how many times
Oh,
I've
they
seen Mario Odyssey.
we getting Street Fighter amiibos.
Yeah, they announced that, and there's like some digital trading cards. There'll be
Don't care
something.
if it ain't jury. I don't care about it.
Yeah, it's like something specific to. There's a couple of because we're not getting this stuff. This stuff's like Switch exclusive stuff, but that's whatever. Like right here, I will use this game as an example here. Um, there are games that come with a key card. Now, the game is it tells you is a 50 gigabyte full download. But once it's on there, that's it. You don't have to download it again or anything. Wait, this is the reasoning I've seen some people give me on this. And that was basically is to stop scalpers and such. Like when they get the game, if they're not paying attention, because literally it's also to stop like if you remember back in the PS3, you know how Marvel vs. Capcom 2 had a case, but all you got was a code in it. That was it.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of Switch games that are like this. This is to stop publishers from doing this. This is basically to give you a physical thing for it to work. This is like sort of a. I know this sounds a little weird, complicated when I say this. Sort of a two-factor authentication. As far as everything I've read, the game downloads technically goes onto the cartridge, and it's like when you like with the Xbox or PlayStation 5, you'll install the game through that, and then that acts as your starter, and then it just picks the data off the system. But this is to force developers to actually give you something. And as far as this goes, you can still sell, trade this. The key card, or as far as like the key will probably be inside. I mean, this is sort of Nintendo's attempt to stop scalpers and everything.
What's the
But
point of it?
stop scalpers and force
Yeah.
publishers to be honest. Instead of like, well, do you want to buy a game? Like you remember, we use Horizon Zero Dawn 2 as an example, the collector's edition. Didn't come with a disc, just came with a code on a piece of paper. But you did get a nice metal cover. I'm like, what?
So it was like Mass Effect Andromeda.
Yeah, they're basically forcing developers to use this. Or publishers, let me rephrase that. But we'll use that's essentially how it is. Now, I want to stress the way some games are priced. Yes, some are going to be. Now, some people are saying $90. What I think some people saw was the euro pricing compared to the like US dollar. That the euro is more expensive or has more value. So yeah, a game would be like would be about $90 Canadian. I saw an Australian was like USD was
like
like
100 something.
Yeah, 100, 120. But I'll show a couple other games that
Question.
I might have an answer.
So basically, it's a digital game with extra steps.
Yes and no. It's weird because I really just need to have it in my hand and see it implemented. That's what Nintendo should have done in the presentation. Because the Nintendo Direct, it was solid. No doubt about it. The only downside is these prices, which didn't help anybody.
Which we all should have known was coming, because the whole time I'm listening and watching Nintendo Direct while I'm working, I'm like, they haven't talked about the price yet.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and then when they showed the price, I'm like, that's why they didn't talk about it during the Direct.
Yeah, and a lot of people did have knee jerk reactions, but still, like if you've already bought Tears of the Kingdom or whatever, you'll just pay for the extra if you want it. If you don't, there is a compatibility list. I don't know how, and more will come to, but they're still going to be making games for the Nintendo Switch. So if you want Pokemon Battle Royale,
Yeah.
you just buy it on that. That's what I plan on doing. I didn't even bother buying the DLC for Scarlet and Violet. Now I'll use Bravely Default as another example. This is a remastered. It's $40. But as it said, it'll just be the key card, but it'll still have a cartridge in there. Now Cyberpunk is coming to Nintendo Switch too. That's going to be 64 gigs on that cartridge. So no matter
Let's talk
what,
about that.
now
But they're only giving you what, 230?
on the system itself, let's see
Yeah.
if they specify. Yeah, internally has 265. Expandable.
Yes, I can play Call of Duty on it, and that's it.
Are you really going to be trying to play Call of Duty on the Nintendo Switch too? You know
If
how
I'm a
much.
Nintendo fanboy, that's all I buy is Nintendo, and I like Call of Duty. Yes.
You're dumb. I will call you dumb for that. Because the Nintendo Switch had like internal 30 gigs, 32. This is a lot more internal memory than the last one had. Then again, a lot of these Nintendo games were not that graphically demanding.
Yeah, it's not like the PlayStation and Xbox give you a terabyte and then.
Hey, listen, compared to what some of these games are going to cost, and like download wise, let's see. We'll look at Bravely Default. How many gigs is this? This is 11 gigs. That's 11 gigs. Street Fighter is 50 gigs. Let's see here. What are you?
Yeah, so you're not going to be getting that many games on that thing.
Oh, you might be, depending.
You're gonna have to get expanded hard drive or memory cards.
Well, I mean, you can get a micro SD really cheap nowadays. So there's no excuse that you can't.
Well, no, because they
one.
said they only have two. You have to get a micro SD card. They can, what did they say? With drive speeds to match what the Switch 2 can do.
You can still buy
right
stuff
now they had.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
And I was gonna say you can still buy stuff that outspeeds that than what they're gonna offer.
But will they allow it?
Yeah, because I bought stuff I use a micro SD on my Nintendo Switch. It's not a Nintendo approved one. Works just fine.
We will have to see because Nintendo seems to be getting very insular with their hardware now.
Well, you know how it is. Let's look on the Nintendo site itself. Oh, let's see. They said there's going to be a 1080p screen. Now, the one downside...
That's the least they could do.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's just on if you're carrying it by itself, it's 1080p. Now, the problem is I've read so far is that this doesn't have as much battery life compared to the regular Switch.
Yeah, I think it was only like 2.5 hours.
Yes,
of battery life.
Yeah, that's what I was reading, and then it'll take like 3 hours and a half to to like fully charge.
So what's the point of ever taking it off the dock?
I mean, it's pick up and go. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, look at what this guy's doing.
I hope you got an outlet. Yeah, I'm about to say, I hope you got an outlet wherever you're going.
This is one of the weirdest features to me, though. Joy-Cons can be used as a mouse. That's cute and all.
Well, it could work for like RTS games and stuff like that if they're gonna bring them to the Switch.
Yeah, this is still one of the dumbest things they've done. It's still stupid.
Well, it is Nintendo. They're just catching up to the Nintendo, the PlayStation 4 and the Kinect for the Xbox One.
Now, the only thing I haven't read, yeah, here's the express card you were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there'll be others.
They're gonna need at
Mark
least
my words.
they're gonna need one that's at least about 500 to at least a terabyte, and they're gonna be expensive.
No, we'll look that up.
With enough SSD speed.
For 520, it's $52.
$52. Yep.
1 terabyte, and this is don't trust that brand.
I'm about to say, I don't even know who that brand.
Some are very sketchy, but I mean they're all out there. You can find SanDisk is always good. Samsung, whatever you want, they're out there. There are. I do take with a grain of salt when you buy some of these off-brand SD cards. But like I
Yep, you
said,
get what you pay for, people.
yeah, I mean, like I said, they are out there and they're cheap. So you telling me that someone can't buy like a 2 terabyte for like $20 is a little weird.
I think no, it's depending on whether or not it's compatible and it's going to be able to give you the speed you need. The Switch needs.
Well, that's why you got
That's
to
my
read all the
concern.
details. But that we'll have to wait till the system's fully out. All right. What was I doing here? Oh, we've already gone over this. The silly amiibos. There are the cards you'll get. They each do
Is it a jury
something.
amiibo?
We'll let the
Did
video
jury get her own
replay.
amiibo?
No,
Because if she's
she
not
has.
getting her own amiibo, I'm not buying it.
She might want down. She might down the line, depending. But she does have her own
No, I'll
card.
get. Hmm. I don't know. I'll spend the money just to get the card.
I don't know how it'll come
I
out,
thought
but just wait and you'll find out.
I'll, I'll throw the rest in the trash.
Damn. All right, and this is just Metroid 2 gameplay. You see someone's using a mouse.
Between doing.
So you can see Demetrius is locking on to the enemies with the ZL button, but then at the same time he's using that right Joy-Con to kind of fine-tune his aiming. You know, like maybe the enemies are a little, maybe you have to lead them a little bit, so you have to aim a little bit to one side or the other. And I'm missing all over the place now. I got a little bit.
That's just showing you how the mouse works and all that. It's not.
So are you still using the Joy-Con as you're moving it like a mouse?
Yeah. It's up in the left-hand corner there.
But it's really cool though that you're able to very seamlessly.
What's the point? Just use a controller.
Dual Joy-Con too, and then
Yeah,
mouse
you see how
control, so
quickly I can
do-
turn
You got to remember, some people have preference. It's like they played on keyboard and a mouse. So this just gives the ability to it. So that's just something you have to take into account for.
Right.
Listen, man, it's just something they did. I don't know what to tell you.
I think that's just a wasted feature. I'm like,
It's Nintendo.
how many people are gonna buy a Switch just to play it in mouse mode? Like,
Some people will, some people won't. Now, out of all the announcements that I'll be excited for, is this Duskbloods. This technically is essentially Bloodborne 2. But this is in this article that's on Niche Gamers from an interview done with Miyazaki. And I mean, this just screams Bloodborne 2. I'm not going to go into all this craziness here.
is it a system seller though?
It's going to be. What's interesting is this game is going to be a PvPe title of all things. So they're expanding on how they're doing their multiplayer on their games. So we'll see how this goes.
We'll see. Nintendo's trying to get the more hardcore gaming to come in.
I mean, every FromSoft game I've played, I've enjoyed. And what's funny is this is exclusive to the Nintendo Switch too. So they got me about that.
Until somebody hacks it and emulates it.
We'll see how that goes. Now, here's the bigger thing. Now, the way Nintendo has delayed the Switch 2 pre-orders due to the impact of tariffs. To me, I don't think it is due to the tariffs. This is just me personally, because they already had stuff set up to go. Now, whether or not the tariffs will affect this stuff, I don't know. I can't tell you, because this is this situation with play by ear. They were, as is stated. Now this is Niche Gamer just going over a statement that was given to IGN. All the pre-orders were set up to go on April 9th, but not now. But the release date, June 5th, has been unchanged. I don't know if the tariffs will affect the market. Nobody knows. That's global economics. I don't want to go into and try to explain to everybody. All I'm going to say is just look out and watch. Keep an eye out. I mean, all these prices of mini games are already set at $80. Now, that's what Nintendo is doing. Publishers can set their own prices. That's what Nintendo is allowing to do. So, as far as like Nintendo titles being, those probably will be $70, $80. Other games will probably stay at like the 60. But we'll have to see. Mr. Chris, what do you think?
I think Nintendo is using Donald Trump to run cover for the fact that they announced something that people really didn't like, and they didn't expect the backlash to be as big as it is.
Yeah,
I think it has nothing to do with the tariffs. They thought since the Nintendo Switch was selling like hotcakes, like, man, it's the same thing like with the Wii and the Wii U. Man, look at that. We can't do anything wrong. Look at the Switch. It's selling like it's going like hot crack right now. We can do anything. You can charge $500 for a console, and then they like, people ain't really happy with this.
I mean, wallets are tight right
tariffs.
now.
I'm like, it's just like Sony and Microsoft to a lesser extent, like putting out these consoles. Now, the PlayStation 5 Pro, if you were to get a disc drive, that thing is almost $1,000. You could buy, because it's $800, then another $80 for the disc drive, plus taxes. You're at 9 something, and then you get a game, so you're at 1,000.
All right, the Pro is 700.
You started seeing the comparisons coming.
PlayStation Pro is 700.
Another 80.
Yeah, so about $800.
Getting close. It's getting close. Cause you buy a game, like I said, you buy a couple of games, you're pretty much there.
This is true.
But they've been pushing for this because Sony said the same thing, that they were not going to be losing money on the hardware anymore, and that's why the PlayStation 5 Pro cost so much, because they were going to sell it at cost. They were no longer going to take those hits anymore. I mean, the industry's been moving in this direction. I'm about to say the industry's been moving in this direction for a long time with the price going up.
Well, it's about to have a crash very soon. There's been a game crash is about to happen, game industry crash. Because, I mean, look at how bloated a lot of the games budgets have been. God, for movies too, but that's another whole other topic.
But that's their own fault, though.
Yes, you're right. They like back during the PlayStation 2 era, Xbox and GameCube, most games were like, I think the highest were 60 back then or 50. Low end was like 30, $40 games.
Mm-hmm.
And this was just people putting out games. It's like, this will either work or not work. And a lot of those games that were like $30, $40 I bought, those are amazing. Those are some one-hit wonders. I mean, not really one-hit wonders, but they were amazing to play. I remember, like, what was it? What was it? It was a Western game where a samurai went to a small town to do something. I remember the sheriff being a big fat black guy with a big fro. This was like one of the silliest games to play. But when you had to fight him in a boss fight, he was no joke. I'm not kidding. I remember him doing barrel rolls, popping the 6-shooter at me. I was like, huh, that's kind of weird. But a hard boss, though. Because you had to deflect and try to time him on his, like, rolls. But there were some other crazy boss fights in that game, too.
But
I
I think it's the problem is going to come from the fact of the market will decide.
Yeah.
And you have a lot of Nintendo fanboys that will run out and happily pay $80 or $100 or for like Grand Theft Auto or Mario Kart World or some of these games, and it's gonna screw over the entire industry.
Well,
Because if you can tell a publisher they can sell their game at $100 and you're willing to pay it, what's gonna stop the other ones from doing it?
well, I didn't want to have this discussion, but we'll get into it a little bit. All right. As you said, the fanboys will pay no matter what. Correct?
Mm-hmm.
Now, think you're a parent. You're two parents. You got like 2 kids, so they'll share the Switch, but they both want different games. You look at these games. You haven't been paying attention to any of this, but you see $60. That seems reasonable and still within your budget, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now you see a game at $80. That's breaking the bank for some folks.
It's not even that. As a parent, you have 2 children. You can logically say in your head, when Nintendo came with the Switch, I think it was originally 300 or was it
It's like
250?
something like that.
You could look at that and say, okay, I can get 2 of these for Christmas time. That's 500, and get a couple of games throughout the year. So by the time Christmas roll around, they got 2 Switches and games. And then Nintendo came out with the Switch Lite, which was a cheaper version. So you could look at it and be like, okay, I can reasonably understand this. But when you're talking about $450 for one, basically the price of 2 Switches, and then you're talking about $80 games, and you got 2 kids, and kids are not going to want to share. So as a parent, you're going to I'm gonna have to get 2 of these. Like
Yeah.
no parent, no one's gonna be like, let me spend $1,000 to get just 2 consoles by themselves, and maybe 1 game for each console, and that's almost $1,000. You're over $1,000.
Yeah. Now,
I'm like,
and you see people will hold off. They'll be like, I'm just going to stick with the Nintendo Switch and just buy games for that still, till this thing lowers
Yeah.
the price. Now,
we were talking about that last night, and what did I tell you?
remember the 3DS when it came out? Backlash with that, price drop. Now, this is a different situation because of the way the tariffs may affect it. I don't know if it will, because this is world economics. All the big boys have got to make these discussions. I don't want to sit here and try to give anybody a life lesson in economics.
Yeah, I know I thought I saw some news that Vietnam they were basically ready to make a deal.
They might, but let's not dive into that. Now,
Yeah.
GTA 5. You remember when that came out, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was a young man then.
You know why it became a cultural phenomenon, right?
Wait, talking about GTA Online?
Yeah, that's the freedom it allowed.
Yeah, $1 billion a year.
No, it just remember what people did with it. They've got RP servers, other crazy things they've done, essentially, that people
Yeah.
built off of that. Now think about this for a second. GTA 6 releases. They're saying it might release today, not today, but this year. I don't know. Now this is going, and I do apologize that we're having this conversation, but I feel it's important, at least to a grand scheme of things, the way the game industry is. But when you have GTA 6, if it allows the same freedom as GTA 5, where people can like build almost a career out of it, and it costs $100, the game industry is going to implode. And I'm being dead serious. Because not even the game devs expected GTA 5 to be the cultural phenomenon it is, or what it became to be. Well, GTA 6 do that, and if it does, no developer can keep up with that. It'd be impossible.
But they're going to try, though.
They can't.
But they're going to try, though.
They can't even try.
If Grand Theft Auto sells there for 100, and people make it the biggest all-time selling game, where it sells like it does, like GTA 5, where it's selling like over like a billion copies in 3 days.
We'll get with a more realistic number. We'll say like 30 million copies within a week.
Yeah, you might as well call it a wrap, because every other company is going to see that and be like, we're going to 90 or we're going to 100.
They can. Well, you got to remember, look at what GTA 5 allowed. You literally, that turned into a social hub. You can't.
Like, I understand that, but the company's they're not gonna care about what GTA. Only thing they're gonna look at they're gonna look at the sales, and they're gonna say they were willing to pay for that. Okay, we can charge the same.
It won't work though. See, that's the thing.
But they're gonna try it though.
They're gonna try, and it's gonna fail. Like they've tried many times and it's failed.
And then they're gonna blame us.
They could try. I mean, I'm not buying GTA. I haven't bought GTA since 4.
What are they doing right now? Every time a game fails, it's our fault that the game failed.
They say, well, if you don't like it, don't
years
buy
in
it.
advance, hey, we don't like it. We don't like this game. We don't like where you're taking this game. Look at Assassin's Creed. They were told well in advance, people are not liking this game. They put it out anyway. They didn't care. Okay, well.
I mean, they're paying the price now. Japanese government's even talking about it. So, I mean, they're about to eat.
They already been pretty much bought out by Tencent.
Well, they did was they made a subsidiary, put all their big IPs into it, and Tencent
they only took the
25%.
3 IPs. Tencent owns that.
No. It owns 25% of that subsidiary.
They took their 3 best games
and put it in that subsidiary.
You can be over here doing whatever. We're gonna take these games and actually make them good.
Yeah, they took that cash. That was a cash offer too, by the way, for some that don't know. It's just looking into that if y'all haven't. But Mr. Chris, we're going to just go with what the Nintendo fanboys have done. Don't ask questions, just consume product, and then get excited for next product.
No.
What? You don't want to be like your hero right here? Come on, man.
No. The older I've gotten, the more I've started to really get to the point where I'm like, I'm not gonna pay full price for stuff when you haven't even completed these games. You're selling me a $70 product that's got 2 hours of content on it, and then selling me the other 90 hours of content in DLC. You know what? I'll wait. I'll wait a year and a half until you put out the Game of the Year edition, and then I'll pay a cheaper price to get a full, complete game.
Oh man, this is why I'm like waiting a year. I'm like I'll pick up the other stuff on sale when I get one. I mean it's the best thing to do. Be one of those gamers that waits for the Steam sales, and you get a full cool game.
But then, like look at the Madden and the 2K people. They buy the same game at full price every year. And I'm just like, I'm like, if you wait until the All-Star game or the playoffs, 2K and Madden are like $20.
Yep. I just don't even see the point in buying some of these games at launch unless it's something I really want. But
Like the only thing I saw that they had as a launch title that I wanted was Donkey Kong.
well, that
And I'm
comes
like,
out in July. That's not a launch title, but it comes out in July.
I'm like, that's not enough to sway me to spend 450. Well, really 400 and probably almost 75 after taxes.
Yeah. I just like
So,
suggestion, folks. Just wait it out unless this is something you absolutely have to have. I can't tell you what to do with your money.
And if you don't have if you got an older Switch, just go buy an OLED Switch. Because trust me, it's gonna be a lot of people that are just gonna say, you know what, I'll just go get upgraded my Switch to OLED and still can play the same game.
Well, they won't get all the stuff that Switch 2 has, but they'll still be making games for the Switch for a while.
Man, don't get me started.
Hey, man.
Oh my gosh, I can have a mouse on my controller. Oh.
Oh. I mean, it's it's an interesting function. Some people will like it, some people won't. But folks, I think that's pretty much going to cover the whole Nintendo shenanigans for us. We'll see what happens in the next coming weeks.
I think they're going to adjust the price, not by much, if they do adjust it. But they might surprise me. Nintendo might just stand firm on their prices and just like deal with it.
Well, I mean, remember, the Wii was when it was released, it was a cultural phenomenon. When the Wii U came out, no one knew what the hell that was. They didn't even know that was a new console. That was poor advertisement. Nintendo DS came out. It's amazing. But when the 3DS came out, people didn't like that price, and so it dropped. This, I don't know what's going to happen on the Nintendo Switch 2. I'm just going to say play it by ear. Be a smart consumer.
Gamers, consumers, we need to stand together and basically tell the Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo, no.
Yeah, don't be like this guy on the screen right here. Don't ask questions, just consume product, then get excited for next product. Don't be like that. Don't do that. Look at this man. Look at what all he's got.
Just look at what we did by just telling them no. They're already trying to basically backtrack off that price.
They might.
Sony's the same way. They already talking about the PS5, the PS6. I'm like, hello? This console's not even 5 years old yet?
They let Sony screw themselves over. I don't know what to say. Folks,
if we stay together and we just hold the line and said this is not acceptable. It's not acceptable for y'all to gouge us in these prices on games on these consoles. If we stand firm on that and we say we just don't buy it, watch how fast that price comes down.
I mean, that's what happened with the 3DS as an example. And the Wii U, no one even knew that really was a console, so that's why that had terrible sales too. But I mean, they dropped the price. I'm not going to tell them to drop the price of the console. Me personally, maybe drop it by $50 on each. Hey, might be a good idea. Small hit in the wallet. But I'll reduce that price of the main games, keep them at $60. Because I don't know what it's costed you to produce these things. So I can't say anything, but I'm looking at this lens as a consumer. But hey, that's on Nintendo what they're going to do. Maybe they'll figure it out.
You remember back in the day when they told us how digital games were going to be cheaper because they wouldn't have to produce the cases and the cartridges and the disc and da. And yet the digital games cost as much as a regular physical copy.
Well, let me see if I can find it real fast. Someone, there's an old catalog. I mean, games like back in the early 80s and 90s were expensive to make back then.
You know, but then Sony came in and made it basically came with the standardized pricing. And to me, it kind of saved the industry because at one point in time, you had people like, well, I can afford to buy this one console and buy games for this. I can afford to buy all three or two of them at a time.
Pretty much.
Because
Let
I'll
me
be
see.
honest with you, right now, with the way things are going, I might not be buying a console next year for any of this for PlayStation 6 or Xbox, whatever they're going to call theirs, and the Switch 2. I might just be a pure PC player.
I mean, I wouldn't blame you. I really don't. Oh, that's not it. Damn it, where is this? I know I had it somewhere. Oh, fudge. Oh, well.
I think
Wait, no.
Maximilian had it.
Here we go. You dirty thing. There we go. This is what this is like 95, 94 here. Now, if we were to do the prices and inflation today, these would be, what, $200 or more? If we were to do that? But I mean, this is when games were harder to make, even so. Because, what was it, 99, 2000, the N64 popped up? And that's when a lot of things went 3D. I mean, standardized, like, creating of things has changed. I mean, anybody can make a video game nowadays. Literally. But,
What
I mean,
you mean? You tell me you don't need $300 million to make a game?
no, just need time and effort. Ooh, Primal Rage. And you had an instant $10 off
Get out of
coupon.
And that's the main problem why the industry is hurting so bad. Like there's no reason they should be spending that kind of money on developing one game.
But my graphics.
Guess what, console players? You're never gonna catch the PC.
I mean, they'll have good.
It's never gonna be able to push hard enough to get you up to the frames that the PC can do. I'm sorry. I used to be a console person. I used to love the console, and I used to hate on the PC all the time. And then I got a PC, and I see everything that I can do with it. I'm like, I'm sorry. It just I don't need. I cancel as soon as I got it. I cancel my PlayStation Plus. I cancel my Xbox membership. I don't give them no money. The only thing I pay for is Switch Online because it's $3.
Hell, you can pay for just 20.
Yeah, I could. I just had it tied to my bank account. It's just $3 a month. I'm like, whatever.
I mean, I just bought the one for like 20 and just called it there.
Yeah, but then it's like I go long. Sometimes might go a long stretch without playing it, and I'll be don't forgot to renew that thing.
Yeah, I've done that as well. But I mean, I haven't been playing online. I would just take it over to friends' places and play it. But folks, best thing as we're gonna be wrapping this up now. Be smart with your money. If you want it right off the bat, get it. But if don't just right off the bat start blaming the tariffs because we don't know if this is going to be affecting them or not. I know that one statement by Nintendo was put out, but we'll see. I have no idea what's going to happen in the next day. But you got any final thoughts, Mr. Chris?
Yeah, about the same thing. Like I'm not gonna tell somebody what to do with their money. If they want to buy it day one for Mario Kart, go right on ahead. But at the same time, I'm like, I don't want to hear any BS or bitching about it later on when you're like, well, why are the games costing so much? I'm gonna give you the side eye and be one to slap you in the face.
No, don't do that. We don't condone violence here. Don't strike
Unless
down
it's against
YouTube.
Nata. Unless it's against Nata.
Oh my god.
Nata.
Anyways, y'all have a wonderful night.